Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a gearbox oil flush on the Polo, my baby. I love this car so much. So I've actually been very bad with this car. I bought the car when it had 60,000 kilometers on the clock. It's now sitting on 242,000 kilometers, and in all honesty, I don't think the gearbox oil has ever been done, or at least I know it hasn't been done in the last 182,000 kilometers that I've owned it. So it is now time that we get the gearbox oil done. So I'm going to show you quickly what we're going to need. I'm also going to be doing a gearbox oil flush, so I'm going to stick a liquid moly product into that to just help clean out some of that old ass oil. And yeah, let's get on to what tools we're going to need. Hey guys, okay, so we're going to run through what products we're going to use. We will be using liquid moly. Only use liquid moly on my car in terms of lubricants. If liquid moly made petrol, I would put liquid moly petrol in my car, but unfortunately they don't, although they should hop onto that. I like their products. They do have a great fuel additive though, veering off subject, but we'll get to that in another video. So today we've used the Liquid Moly Advantage app to see what products we need. Came up with the Top Tech MTF 5100 75W. That's that bad boy there. We need 2 liters of it. That's spec for the gearbox. We are going to be using a transmission cleaner as well, just to try to get all the debris and stuff off. The stuff works great. They have an engine oil flush as well. Don't want to get sidetracked again though. So this cleaner, basically we need to drain, if the gearbox oil is at its maximum fill level, which it should always be. If it's not, there's a problem, please check it out. But assuming that your gearbox oil level is correct, you need to drain 150 mils of your gearbox oil out and top up with this. Close up the plugs again, then start the car and let the car idle while running through the gears for about 10, or according to the product it's 10 minutes. So we're gonna go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, stop the gearbox completely, go reverse for a bit, and keep repeating that for about 10 minutes. Once we've done that, that should have gotten this product through the entire gearbox, which will allow it to clean and do its job, and hopefully get all of the dirt and debris out of there and old oil that might be clinging to anything off. So that's in terms of the products we're going to use. A great product if you're not doing this step. So if you've been regular with your gearbox oil changes and you're just doing a straightforward oil change, you will need a scan tool. This is the X tool, the A30M, great tool. I think it ended up costing me about $7 when I bought it. Works off of a phone. It's got an app that you download, has all the cars. I haven't had a car come through the shop that I haven't been able to scan with this or do changes or basically get service stuff done that I need to get done where I haven't been able to use this. Great tool. We're not going to use this today because the oil should be up to temperature after 10 minutes of idling and running it through the gears. So by the time we drain this oil, we should be good. Other tools we're going to need is a means of topping up the gearbox. So on this car, it's pretty easy. The fill point's close to the top. We'll show you that now. So we can just gravity feed the oil back into the motor. I will need something to drain the oil out. Tool wise, you need a 17mm Allen. If you're going out to buy a tool specifically to do this, get the short Allen. This one's gonna make life a little bit difficult because it's so long. So basically I'm gonna have to loosen the gearbox, or loosen the gearbox mount, lift the gearbox and motor up slightly so I can get this tool to fit without interfering with the car's subframe. So yeah, you'll need a couple of ratchets, 1 or 2 extensions. I need to take the battery out, so I'll need a 13 for the battery tray, 10 for my battery. I've changed the battery on the car because of sound. So a 10 spanner to loosen the battery terminals, and then a 16 socket for the gearbox mounts bolts to get those loose. Then we will need, so in order to drain 150 mils, that doesn't need to be in this, I need to measure out. So I'm going to suction out about 300 mils. This doesn't, this measures in 100 mil increments. So I'm going to suck out about 300 mils of oil out, then halve it so I get to the same level. That way I know I've drained 150 mils. I'm then going to add this product to this and top the gearbox back up ahead of me running the gearbox to flush or clean the gearbox. Then the one thing which I don't have on the table, let's see if I can find him though, is a means of getting the gearbox oil out. So one way you can do it is to, sorry, what did I do with him? So the other tool we will need is some way of getting the gearbox oil out of the motor. So this tool I bought at Ardendorf, I almost said Mac Afric. So Ardendorf, it's basically just a or hand pump. You stick this end into the gearbox, this end into the bottle you want to drain into. Whoops, there's still some oil in there. I need to clean that before we get started. That end into the bottle you're going to drain into, and then you can just hand pump however much oil you need out of there. So we'll get onto that and show you where to get everything off and on. Okay, so I'm going to show you where to drain the oil and fill up outside of the gearbox. To get in oil out of the gearbox and get our fresh transmission cleaner in ahead of our cleaning process. So once we have the car up on jack stands, please make sure you use the jacking points. Just makes life a lot easier. Get us some light there, you can see. But basically from here, if you're looking at the gearbox, so this car's right hand drive, it shouldn't make too much of a difference on what's the name, but so basically left hand side of the car, if you come here, that will be your drain point. And whoops, let's see if we can see up there. Angle the light a bit better. This here will be our fill point. Let's see if we can just focus on that better. That'll be our fill point. So to get the transmission cleaner in, I'm going to open up this point, stick my suction device in, drain some oil, then put the oil back in with the transmission cleaner. Keep in mind I only want to take out 150 mils of oil, so if I take more than that out, I must measure out 150, then put the extra that I've removed back in with the transmission cleaner so that can do its job. Hey guys, okay, so we have now drained the oil. So it's a little bit dark in there. So what we've done is drained about 300 mils of oil, then separated it, so I'm left with 150 mils about. I don't know if I can get in nicely there. Then we've added our liquid moly gear or transmission cleaner. Then we've poured that back into the gearbox and close the gearbox up. So what we're going to do now is start the car, run it for 10 minutes through the gears to let the liquid moly gearbox oil do its job. Then we're going to drain the oil, top up, tighten everything up, clean up, and we should be done. Okay, so we're in the car. I'm going to give it a start. Obviously push clutch in. Please mind my pants down there. Just let everything disappear. So just let it start up, idle. Please excuse the EPC light. I have a set of custom LED tail lights in which the computer box doesn't agree with. The air setup. So yeah, let's get started. So first gear, let's pull the clutch out nice and slow, and we should have movement. Hey, she's spinning. So we're just gonna let her go through the gears nicely. Let everything, we've gone down to second. Nice to see what this would do at idle. Computer box doesn't have your handbrakes, huh? So yeah, I'm just gonna let them spin. It's going into third now, and we're gonna give it 10 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna sit and do this for 10 minutes. I'm not gonna bore you guys with the whole thing, and we'll touch in as soon as this process is done. Hey guys, while you're busy with this process, you may have an ABS fault pop up. That is purely because the back wheels are stationary and the front wheels are spinning. So the computer box is saying, hang on, something's wrong here. So yeah, like I said, go through the gears, keep going. 10 minutes go by, 2 minutes in. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now that we have let the gearbox run for 10 minutes with the transmission cleaner in it, she's nice and warm. Transmission cleaner should have had enough time to do its job, and we can go ahead and drain gearbox oil. So I'm going to start by removing the battery. This is an aftermarket battery. I used to run a big sound system in the car, hence the reason for the battery change. So if yours is the stock battery, this would have clipped over the battery nicely. Basically undo negative first, undo your positive, then come down here and you will undo the clamp that holds the battery in place. I'll do that and then we'll hop back on quickly. Okay, so I kind of skipped a step, but once you have the battery out, the battery box will be in. You'll need to, let's get this strap out the way. You'll need to remove 1, 2 and 3 13mm bolts. So use a long extension with a 13mm socket, should get the job done for you. Then the next thing we're going to tackle, which is underneath the battery box, why we have to remove the battery box in the first place, would be the gearbox mount. So what I am going to be doing is removing this as soon as I see what's going on. All good. Okay, so guys, what we've done here, as explained before, I have a tool that's a little bit too long. So what I ended up doing is using my jack with a rubber block. I've just jacked on the gearbox very carefully, just to lift it a little so that my tool had, let's get in there and show you, had enough clearance to actually make it into that socket properly without twisting funny. So I don't want to put unnecessary pressure in the gearbox and crack the casing, otherwise we're in for even more money than what we wanted. So right now we've loosened it. I've just moved the gearbox out the way so I can get my sumpy back in place, so we can drain this gearbox oil. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be some very dirty ass oil, so let's get the hands dirty. Hopefully I don't spill too much. Let's just get this out the way. Ooh, this is nasty. So I'm just trying to control the flow a bit so I can record at the same time without spilling oil all over the floor. So when we drained some earlier to get our transmission cleaner in, this oil was very black. Stank really bad. Not that you can tell much about the oil from the way it smells, but pretty much smelled burnt, or yeah, it wasn't very pleasant, although gearbox oils generally aren't pleasant. But yeah, let's get this drained and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Hey guys, so we're back. We've got the oil pretty much out. Just gonna leave this to sit for a few minutes to drain. There's the gearbox plug. We're going to give this a nice clean before we stick it back in, and then also clean up that surface around the gearbox just a tiny little bit. I'm sure you guys have noticed how stiff this motor is. We will be doing an undercarriage clean hopefully in the next month, and give it a good clean so that we can get her looking like a new car again. Please excuse all the scrapes and bumps. This is what happens when you want to have a stance car in South Africa. Our roads are cack. Hey guys, so now that our oil is completely drained out, we've cleaned up around that area as best as we can, clean the threads on the plug. I'm going to stick this plug back in. I'm going to get my sumpy out the way, get the jack back in to push the gearbox up a little bit so that my tool can fit, and we're going to snug this up nice and tight, and then we're going to start filling up with oil again. Okay, now that we've got the sump plug back in place, we are just busy loosening. You can't really see from that angle, and you can't see from there. Wow, should pull the wheels off. We're just busy loosening the full plug again. We're gonna stick our filling device back in and then top up with our oil. Yeah, there you go. Let's get the pipe in there, stick it in as far as you can. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm stuck. You're stuck. Okay, cool. Let's get topping up. Okay? Okay, so once you've opened up, you will find these little extension PP keys. I just pry this out with a flat screwdriver because I'm using the funnel to fill gravity feed into the gearbox. I don't need these, but essentially when you pull the cap off, that cap, this will come out the bottle. So if you don't have a funnel, or you don't want to use your mom's funnel, you can just pull that out, and then you can squeeze the oil into the gearbox. But we're gonna do it this way. So my brother is ready at the bottom, just holding up there, and I'm just gonna make sure I don't spill anything. Look how fresh and clean that brand new oil is. We do already have a liter in. Oops, almost friggin' spilled. Yeah, once we get this in, we should be good to go. Owen, if it does start leaking out there, you're just gonna have to pull the pipe quickly and plug it. Okay, so that's everything in. Pull the pipe and plug it as quickly as possible, please. Whoops. Cool. I'll show you guys what it looks like down there now. Just a heads up when doing this is when you're ready to fill the gearbox, you need the car as level as possible to eliminate spillage. So unfortunately there are other vehicles consuming all of my jack stands. There's a Corsa down there. We only have 2 left, so I had to improvise with a jack. So yeah, once all of that's done, you can snug up all of the bolts. We're gonna put the battery back in. We did realize halfway through removing the battery and the mount that I didn't have to pull the mount out completely. I just needed to raise the gearbox slightly, so we just used the jack with the rubber block to put a little bit of pressure on the underside of the gearbox, and that gave us enough clearance to get our tool in. But if you have the short one, you won't have that issue, so you won't have to go through these extra steps.